thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark TV. I am so glad that you are here. You know who I am. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Bushchester. You know what I like to do on my show. I want to enlighten you. I want to inspire you. I want to empower you to become your best self. And I think that my guest agrees with that as well. Well, go on, get comfy, cozy, because we're about to get started. My guest today is Liesel Kippen, and we are talking about her book, Cherry Blossoms. I know that I love cherry blossoms, so I can't wait to talk to her about such a beautiful book. So let's get started. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi there. It's great to be here.
Now, I love the fact that you are able to join, and especially anytime we have an international guest on. Thank you so much for sacrificing. I know that it is early in the morning where you are, so thank you for joining me today. The question that I have for you is, first and foremost, can you tell us a little bit about who you are? There may be some folks out there that are unfamiliar with you or your work. So first question, what makes you you?
Sorry. So hi, Dr. Angela. My name is Liesel Kippen. I'm originally from South Africa, but I'm here in Australia now. I came here in 2004 and I've been here ever since. I'm a teacher by profession and I've been teaching for 27 years, but I also have a deep passion for writing. My grandfather came from Italy and he moved to South Africa during World War II and he settled there. So I come from a rich heritage, I must admit. But I'm officially now in Australia and I'm now an Australian resident.
I love it. I love it. And, you know, we have so many international guests on, and it is so nice to just see how not only is the show reaching an international audience, but that we are able to inspire people around the world. Because no matter where we are, we think that our voice doesn't, sometimes people think that their voice doesn't matter, but it really does. And we can see just in the example of having you on how our voice reaches not only our communities, but our global communities as well. And I love that. Now, the title of your book, Cherry Blossoms, I love that, but I have to ask, have you always wanted to be an author, or did you find that life simply presented the opportunity?
I think it was more a case of life presenting an opportunity. I used to write, but just random things. So it wasn't really a book per se. I hadn't thought of being an author, but last year with COVID, and having so much time on my hands, I decided to explore that option further. Initially, I'd written a poem on COVID, and I sent that to the publishers, and they loved it. And they then asked me to write a few more poems, put it in a manuscript, and write a book. And that, I think, was the deciding factor, given that there was so much time that I had available to put all of my thoughts into writing. And yeah, that's where I'm at today, based on last year's incident.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, I am so happy that people were able to use a global pandemic, a disaster, and use that in a way that they are able to further the dreams or the vision that God has given to them. So many people have been able to utilize this time as you did, as I think we all did, to really make sure that we were called to purpose and walking in that purpose. Now, the title of your book, Cherry Blossoms, I know that I'm originally from the East Coast, and they grow quite easily on the East Coast from Washington, D.C. on up and down the coast. Beautiful tree. Why did you choose Cherry Blossoms to title your book?
I think I initially loved to travel. And the first time I saw these beautiful cherry blossoms in their natural environment was when I went to China, and we went on tours. And it was just phenomenal seeing all the tourists around them, picking them, smelling them. You know, it was an event that they were celebrating. So I love that. And I love the idea of cherry blossoms. I love the flower. But then I also tagged it to my car. My car's name is Cherry Bubble. And my car is my everything. She's my little bubble. She's been with me through thick and thin, and I've had her over 10 years. And I thought, love cherry blossoms, love cherry bubble, put them together, and I've got something very meaningful and something very dynamic and powerful. And that was basically what prompted me to choose that as a title.
I love that. I love that. And with so many different options out there as far as how we choose to express ourselves, I think that the cherry blossom is so fitting. Now, with that being said, you love to make a difference, a positive difference in the world. What is one way that you think that not only you as a person, but your book as well, how do you think that that's making a positive impact with those around the world?
I think because of the themes that are written in my book, they're basically to inspire, to add value to the lives of others, to impact powerfully and positively on the lives of others, and to make a difference. A lot of my poems talk about love and appreciation. They also talk about being resilient. Even though, you face challenges in life, stand tall, be resilient, you can overcome them. So a lot of my books, a lot of my poems actually talk about that. Just one, being an inspiration, make an impact in a different way, a difference where you can, show love, inspire everyone around you. And most importantly, stand tall and overcome. You've got what in you to overcome. You've got what it takes to overcome and to make a difference in life. So I think all of those are initiatives that empower and inspire others in my poems.
I love that. And when I found that out about you, I said, how befitting that she chooses cherry blossoms, which of course is spring, is new beginnings, is starting over. And I said, that was not missed on me. And I said, that is so beautiful. How important when you talk about doing those things that make a positive difference. How important do you think that is a theme in, or should be a theme in our global consciousness? Do you think that we talk about making a positive difference enough?
I don't think so, actually. I think we all have it within us, but I don't think we really give all of our time. We lead busy lives. So really that needs to be enhanced to a far greater extent. And I think because of that, I've taken on that idea this year, just a platform of homelessness, going out, helping, volunteering my services, making a difference and making an impact. But I definitely think that needs to be promoted far more than it is, because there's such a great need out there. And if everybody has their small bit, can you imagine the impact, that it will have on the global world?
Have to agree with you. And I remember there was a time where pre-COVID, BC, if you will, before COVID, where it seemed like only celebrities, really big name celebrities, were out and reminding us to be mindful neighbors. But I think now, post-COVID or during the pandemic, we've really started to have a shift in our paradigm and realize how important it is to really stay connected and to be kind and more loving towards our neighbor and each other. So I have to agree with you there. Now, when you were putting your book together, did you find that you needed to have a particular environment? I know that many authors need a quiet space. They prefer mornings or late nights when the world is asleep or so. Did you need a particular environment in order to write?
Exactly right. I prefer early mornings when the rest of the world is sleeping and quiet. I find that I have more inspiration then. So sometimes, well, in fact, a lot of the time it was early hours of the morning, just, going through my thoughts, just rummaging through ideas and putting ideas on paper. But I also found settings like in botanical gardens, because I've got a botanical garden just 5 minutes up the road. So late afternoons, I'd go there and sit. And that inspired a lot of my nature poems, because I also wrote a lot about nature. I love the descriptive aspect of nature. So I'd look at pictures, I'd look at the setting and the environment, and that prompted a lot of my poems as well. So yeah, to answer your question, early hours of in the morning, and also out in nature. Those were fantastic, inspirational elements for my poems.
And I find that more and more of the authors that I am talking to prefer one extreme or the other. But the one thing that they have in common is the world is asleep, so to speak, that it is in that quiet, in that calm, where the hustle and bustle has settled or hasn't quite started yet, that people are able to really have that time with God or have that time in contemplation where they're able to really hear what needs to be shared. And I love that. Now, I know that you have written other books, but when it comes to each project, I like to think that each project is kind of like a new baby, if you will. You've poured your all into that. How did you feel once it's all been completed? You've gone through the process and you now are holding cherry blossoms in your hands as the first copy of the book. How did that feel?
I think it was a sense of excitement and a sense of having achieved, having followed my dream, having been successful and having done it. So I always just do a bit of a tick, tick, done, achieve that milestone, achieve that goal. And a sense of relief that all of that hard work has actually now finally paid off. So yeah, really, really a good feeling that I've been successful in one aspect of my life and I've accomplished something, that I've wanted to do. That's been something personal for me and something meaningful. So yeah, it's really been a great feeling, I must admit.
I love it. I love it. And I asked that question for, of course, those aspiring authors out there that are saying, I don't know if I want to write, or I don't know if it's worth all of the sacrifice that comes along with it. But I don't think I have found one author yet that said that it wasn't worth the time. For every great thing that happens, a little sacrifice is usually made. So thank you for confirming that. Now, when it comes to your overall theme or lesson of the book, is there a particular lesson that you want for the reader to have to take away from the book, having read it?
I think initially it's love and compassion. So I'm hoping that when they read the books, they see that, what, there's love, there's compassion. I've fueled my passion, and they're feeling that. But more especially, I think for them to take away the fact that anything is possible. They can follow their dreams. They can go out there and achieve, They must not let any obstacles or challenges in life stop them from achieving what they ultimately wish and desire to achieve. And through that, I've actually written poems, compassion, love, empowerment, being empowered to actually go out and fulfill your purpose and your dreams in life. And ultimately, I hope that people, as they read my book, can see my passion and desire to write, because I share from my heart, I live through my heart, and I want them to be a part of that as well.
I love it. I love it. Well, it is time for us to take a very short break. But before we do, can you remind everyone, please, what is the title of your book? Where can we get a copy? And of course, how do we stay in contact with you?
Okay, so the title of my book is Cherry Blossoms. You can get a copy. A lot of the stores have it, but predominantly Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Balboa Press, because they are the publishers. And you find them everywhere else. I was shocked when I even saw them on my book on eBay. I'm like, oh my goodness, couldn't believe it. But absolutely. And then my email address, if anybody would like to contact me, my first name and last name, very easy, Liesel Kippen at hotmail.com. And I'm also on Facebook as well. So if you just type in Liesel Kippen, you'll see me there. And I'm happy to just give you any more information that you'd like.
All righty, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll be back right after this.
Know how to wear your face mask correctly. First, wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, or use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Put your face mask over your nose and mouth and secure it under your chin. If the mask has loops, hook them around your ears. If it has ties, secure them at the base of your neck and crown of your head. Make sure you can breathe easily. Remove your mask carefully. Untie the straps or unhook the loops from your ears and pull the mask away from your face without touching the front of your mask. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth when taking off your mask. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds immediately after removing your mask, or use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Learn more at cdc.gov/coronavirus and coronavirus.gov.
I wear a mask. I wear a mask. I wear a mask because
I wear a mask because it's a tiny sacrifice to protect your freedoms.
I wear a mask because I can help stop the spread of COVID-19 in my community.
I wear a mask because I care about you, even if I don't know you.
I want to keep doctors, nurses, and other essential workers safe.
I wear a mask because I can, but my baby can't.
I wear a mask because I want to feel safe sending my kids back to school. My kids wear masks to keep their friends safe.
I wear a mask because I want you to stay healthy.
I wear a mask because I really want to get a haircut soon.
I wear a mask because I care about the health and well-being of those around me.
I wear a mask because I might not know that I'm sick.
Yo uso una máscara para mi familia y la comunidad.
I wear a mask because I want to keep others safe.
I wear a mask because I want to protect everybody.
I wear a mask because too many people who look like me are getting sick and dying from COVID-19.
I've grown fond of seeing people smile with their eyes. It's a beautiful experience in these times.
Do it for their futures.
Even if you don't have to, I hope you choose to.
Hi, do you have something to share? Be a guest. Want to sponsor an episode? Visit drangela.chester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark TV. I'm excited to be talking with my guest today, Liesel Kippen, and we're talking about her book, Cherry Blossoms. Now, the next question that I have for you, we kind of touched a little bit earlier on being a writer and what it means to be a successful writer. So many times we think of success in the form of I have to have a big house or a fancy car or I have X amount in the bank. But when I talk to authors, however, they don't always give the same qualifiers or the same criteria for what it means to be a literary success or a successful writer. In your mind's eye, how do you determine or define what a successful writer is, or what does it mean to be a successful writer?
I think one of the things would be having goals that you've put in place, and then ultimately working on those goals and achieving them. And the achievement of that goal would be your book in a store or your book in somebody's hand who appreciates it. Okay, where you've made a difference, where you've impacted powerfully and positively on life and the lives of others. So that would be the first goal. That would be the first indicator of success. The second one, I think, would be the where you've actually finished a task, like in my case, finishing a manuscript. You've given it your all, and you've done something for yourself, but you also know it's something that's going to benefit somebody else. So that in itself is already success. That's how I measure it. I've done what needed to be done. I've put it out there. I'm happy with where I'm at. I think I've done a great job because I've given it my all, and it's out there where everybody else can enjoy. I share what I've done with everybody else. So that for me is a symbol or an element of success, I think.
I love that answer, and I have to agree with you. For so many people, and I think we're really starting to come to a reckoning for many people, or the light has kind of turned on a little bit, that it's not always about those material things. Don't get me wrong; the material things, of course, are great rewards for hard work. However, I think that more people are realizing that if they can make that positive impact on just one life, that it is still worth that sacrifice. I love your answer. Now, the next question that I ask, and I tend to ask this of many of my guests, and it talks about faith. Now, not whether or not you attend a house of worship every Sunday or Saturday, or what denomination you are, or if you grew up in a religious household or not, but just your personal relationship with God. Do you think that your faith has played a part in any way in how you have been able to accomplish all that you've been able to accomplish in your lifetime?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I fully believe and firmly believe that God has been instrumental in my life. I think he's been there through it all. And in his time, he's made different things work. So while the seed had been planted a while back to write, I think the time was last year during COVID, when there was all the time in the world where that seed started developing and germinating. And he's just been with me every step of the way, every aspect, every inspiration I've had. I owe it all to him. He's given me the skills. He's given me the tools to put together all of my ideas and to actually get them in writing. So to him, always, I give all the praise, honor, and the glory, because he truly deserves it.
Absolutely. And I love asking that question because I found that here on Daily Spark TV or Daily Spark with Dr. Angela with radio, so many authors will say, I didn't grow up in a religious household. So I became a Christian later on in life. And it is in that personal time and that personal experience of writing that I really found a way to communicate with God. And my faith was blossomed in some way or another because of that quiet time and being able to spend time with God. I love that. I think that's a way to inspire someone who is wondering, can I still, have time with God? Is he really listening? So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you have authored some other books, and I would love to give you an opportunity, if you don't mind sharing. Can you tell us about some of the other books that you've written?
Okay, the previous one, the one that I was published, I think, just before Christmas last year, was Silver Bells. So that's got a Christmas theme, a theme of love as well. And also, I think what inspired that book was the fact that we had COVID and we didn't know what was going to happen next. It was just like the world had just taken on another face. There was a whole lot of uncertainty. And I think through my book and through the poems in the book of love, of having your belief, standing tall and to just continue doing, what works for you, and to know that, there is certainty in an uncertain future. All of those poems were in Silver Bells, and that was my second book, which is a Christmas theme as well. Love that book because it also highlights Christmas. So even though we had a whole lot of COVID happening, Christmas was there, on the brink of it all, and Christmas is just a beautiful time. A time of love, a time of appreciating each other, a time of compassion, a time of caring, and a time of looking after each other. So I love that book as well. And there's a whole lot of poems in it that enhance that theme of love, care, compassion, and empathy for each other. I've also written one or two cookery books as well, recipe books, because I love cooking and baking. It's another passion of mine. So those are also there as well. So yeah. And then I've got last one. I've got one more book that's with London, Cambridge. It's called Whispers in Time. It's completed. It's another poetry book, and hopefully that'll be published in the near future.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was so funny. I was going to ask you, did you have anything coming up? So you've taken care of that question as well. No, I have to agree with you. I absolutely adore Christmas time. I find that most people kind of change. There's a little pep in their step, if you will, and there seems to be just that Christmas cheer. Even if they don't want it, I think the stores kind of help with all of the beautiful decorations and the music, and you just can't help but fall in love with that time. And I know we do have to be reminded that Jesus is the reason for the season, but I think it also really brings that togetherness and that bond and connection with family. So I love it. I love it. Silver Bells, an appropriate title. I love it. Now, if I remember correctly, you have also been a member of Pageant Life. Tell me about the pageants that you've been a part of.
Okay, so I've only been on one pageant this year. It's the Australian International Pageant, my first ever. But I absolutely love the fact that I'm in it because my platform is homelessness. And as we were talking earlier, this has been an absolutely phenomenal journey for me because I'm now able to impact in my community and my environment and help wherever I need. So a lot of the time initiatives have been fundraising initiatives to help the homeless. There's stuff that I do, initiatives I do throughout the week that basically targets homelessness and helping homeless people. One huge success was we had a sleep out, 4 of us, where we slept out just out in the open, and we raised a total of 1,400, which we then handed to National Homeless Collective so that they could buy sleeping bags. And we will be handing out those sleeping bags with them to the homeless. And there's been a whole lot of other initiatives that have occurred, which have been absolutely phenomenal. And all of these have been geared at helping our homeless people and to make a difference, make an impact, inspire life, and add value and quality to the lives of others. So that has been absolutely powerful for me. And I'm so appreciative of this journey because it helps me to think of others and to help others and, be there for everybody else, not necessarily just for myself and my family. So yeah, that's been phenomenal this year.
I love it. I love it. And I believe that we all have been called to purpose, that there is something that we can all do that can lend our voice to the bigger cause of the world and definitely make us be the best that we can possibly be. I love that you are out doing all that you are doing. Well, I have to say, I have enjoyed my time with you here today. And thank you so much for getting up early and spending some time with us here today. But before I let you go, please remind everyone one last time, what is the title of your book? Where can we get a copy? And of course, how do we stay in contact with you?
So the title of my book is Cherry Blossoms. You can get a copy online at Balboa Press, Barnes and Noble, and Amazon. Those are the 3, and there are a few others. If you just key in on Google, Cherry Blossoms, you'll get a list of all the places you can get them. And you can also email me, lieselkippen@hotmail.com, and I'm happy to give you any further details. You'll also find me on Facebook as well. Thank you so much.
Liesel Kippen, thank you so much for spending time with us here today on Daily Spark TV.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
And viewers, thank you for spending some time with us here as well. As always, may the Lord continue to shine his face upon you. May you receive his grace and his mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, remember, you are blessed in the Lord. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Daily Spark TV. Are you an author with a faith-based book? Be a guest. Serious about your product or service and want to try something new? Sponsor an episode. I see you're ready to get started. So visit drangela.chester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.